Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be discussing Westworld Season 3, Episode 7, Past Pawn. The main story of this episode revolves around Caleb. Dolores takes him through the area that Westworld was based on, to an equivalent of the Forge. Except here we learn that human outliers, humans who the program couldn't predict or control, are kept there along with an earlier version of Rehoboam called Solomon, which is connected in some way to Sirach's brother who created it. It bears his voice and seemingly is self-aware. Now, this raised a couple of questions for me. Namely, if Solomon is aware, is Rehoboam also self-aware? Something I was thinking might be the case. And if Rehoboam is the next step in the program's development, why is Solomon still around at all? Anyway, during their conversation, Caleb reveals that he knows what Dolores is and where she came from. Pointedly, he asks how many people have to die for her revolution. She says she doesn't know, but claims people have a chance and that they'll need someone to lead them. She's chosen Caleb for the unlikely task. Inside, we find out that he has been in a similar facility to William and underwent similar treatment. This treatment allowed the program to use Caleb and his friend Francis to round up so-called outliers. When they were done with him, those memories were replaced, and he was effectively reprogrammed to believe Francis died honorably on a mission to capture terrorists, when in fact, the machine turned the two against one another, causing Caleb to kill his friend. By revealing this truth, it's Dolores' hope that Caleb will be more open to accepting his position as a leader. And she asked Solomon for the strategy for defeating Sirach, which they intend to follow. By the time he's told the whole truth, Caleb's loop is effectively broken, and he seems even more determined than ever to follow Dolores' plan, or the plan as now outlined by Solomon, to destroy Sirach. But before Solomon can give him a final warning, Dolores, about to lose the fight with Maeve, which we'll get to later, presses the button on the electromagnetic pulse device that she had brought with her. It was intended to stop Solomon from escaping, but it shuts down both her mechanics and those of Maeve and Solomon. Caleb grabs Dolores and the two escape. Now, I do question, how can one man lead the entire human race? We know the hosts are nearly extinct and they can't get behind Dolores. So how is he supposed to lead people far greater in number with even more conflicts and motivations? I can maybe imagine him leading the outliers because of their circumstances, being locked up in a cryonic state. But are those the only humans that Dolores plans to allow to survive? And would Caleb really be okay with that? I liked that we saw him actually question Dolores in this episode, pushing her a little about her intentions, but then he pretty much dropped it. And when he found out what Sirach had done, the mission became personal. So I can't wait to see what the warning was that he ignored and how his emotional state might actually shake the algorithm even more, throwing everything further out of whack. Speaking of things that don't make a whole lot of sense, we get two major host fights this episode. The first occurs in the opening scene. During a conversation with Musashi, we learn that following the loss of her family, Charlotte is disillusioned with Dolores' mission and appears to have switched sides, or at the very least is no longer willing to die for the cause. We also learn that Maeve and Sirach have on their side both Clementine and her Shogun World counterpart, Sakura. The pair take on Musashi and his men, killing them all with a hair flip from Clementine, before ultimately walking away with Musashi's head and within it the pearl. All I could think was, where are the police? It's like, is anybody going to break this up? Is this not live on whatever their equivalent of social media is right now? With all of this going on, you would expect that the hosts might have been exposed by now. But anyway, next was the long-awaited fight between Maeve and Dolores. Maeve finds Dolores at the Human Forge, and the two engage in the weakest robot fight I have seen in I don't know how long. With these two being able to program themselves every fighting technique there is, it seemed pretty lazily choreographed. I mean, there were some zany one-liners, particularly the one where Maeve tells Dolores, "Don't align my motives with yours. We are nothing alike." Okay, sis. But other than that, and Dolores losing an arm, there wasn't much excitement there, at least not as much as I would have hoped. And lastly, the war of words between William, Bernard, and Stubbs. And yes, I consider this a host fight, because as much as William hates them, you just know he's going to become one. After it's confirmed that William has been injected with a virus of sorts by Charlotte to track him and infiltrate Sirach's lab, and that he's been pronounced dead, William is determined to end Charlotte and his rescuers as well, warning that they should kill him while they have a chance. Well, they don't. And after the three escape, William somehow finds a gun and pulls it on them. So what will Bernard and Stubbs do? I guess we'll see next episode. All in all, this wasn't as bad as episode 5, but it did include a lot of scenes that didn't quite make sense. The fight scenes were disappointing, but on a positive note, I am more interested in Caleb than I have been all season. It's just a shame that there's only one episode left. But hey, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.